Hi friends, welcome back to 5-Minute Magic with Molly. Today we're going to talk about intuition games. These are things that you can do in your everyday life to strengthen your intuition. Now, 5 minutes or less means this could be a really powerful addition to your morning routine, maybe at the end of your workday to kind of transition to your leisure time or before bed. But they're really powerful tools when you're consistent with them. They can really start to hone how you connect with spirit, how your intuition shows up, and really start to build trust with your intuition, because that is huge. And a lot of these games we talked about on the podcast when we did an interview with Anthony Lights. He is a psychic medium. And so we went back and forth about our favorite games to play with our intuition. So if you want more ideas, definitely go check that episode out.
5-Minute Magic with Molly. Spells for you in 5 minutes or less.
Oh my God, I'm on fire. The first game is a driving game. And if you don't drive, just skip this one, I guess. But this one is really fun to do when you are commuting to work or home from work, to the grocery store, home from the grocery store, really any path that you go on frequently, like something you don't need to use your GPS to go to. And I call it left and right. You ideally want to do this in a place where there's multiple ways that you can get to your destination. So if there's maybe 2 different routes you can take home, or 2 different routes you can take to work, or if there's like a split somewhere where you could go highway or back roads, that kind of thing. When you come to that split, when you come to that intersection, you are going to take a breath and tune in. Should I go left or right? And just notice, a lot of times we can get in our head about the difference between our thoughts and our intuition. Your intuition is not going to change. And it's not going to sound like a fire alarm. It's not going to yell at you. It's going to be very soft, very trusting. There's not going to be a fear or an anxiety attached to it. So left or right. And we're not doing this to put some pressure on our intuition, like to avoid an accident or a house fire or whatever. We're just doing this to communicate with our intuition. So there's no wrong answers here. Left or right. Go whichever direction your intuition tells you. Do this at every turn. And just notice, are there some turns where you turn and you're like, oh, actually, that was my mind. Or that was definitely my intuition. I know because my body feels like this. And just start to become familiar with the language of your intuition in that way. That's number 1. Number 2 is one of my favorite practices when shopping for books or when buying gifts for someone. You could do this with any store, but I'm going to talk through it like a bookstore. I love this one because there was one time where I was buying a gift for a friend and I really didn't know what book to get her. And so I played this game and I ended up finding like the perfect book. If you took a Venn diagram of her 2 like favorite hobbies, this book was right in the center, and it was by her favorite author, and neither of us knew this book existed. And so ever since then, I have told everyone to play this game. You're gonna walk into the bookstore with the intention of being directed by your intuition to the book that you need right now. Just like our car game, you're gonna walk in, take a breath, left or right, follow that direction. As you come to the aisles, you're gonna ask, is it this one? Yes or no? Is it this one? Yes or no? Okay? And follow the guidance that you're feeling. If you feel that anxiety or that worry, like, oh, am I feeling it right? Take a breath. Come back to center. Slow down. That's going to help you get out of your head. Once you find the aisle you feel called towards, ask left side of the aisle or right side of the aisle. Top shelf, middle shelf, bottom shelf. Sometimes I'll even hold my hands out and I'll scan down the aisle until I feel kind of a prickling sensation or I feel like called to that point. And then just notice what books are there. Look at the covers, which one calls out to you. I'm willing to bet you're going to be like, holy crap, when you see the book that you land on. The final option for intuition games that I'll share with you today involves either your tarot or your oracle deck, whichever one is your favorite. You could also do this with just a plain old card deck. But essentially what you're going to do is shuffle the deck, pull one card, but keep it face down. Have a journal with you, and you are going to write down everything about that card that your intuition tells you before you flip it over. I'm going to guide you through this one right now so that we can do it together. Remember, the point is not to be right. It's not to be perfect. It's just to explore with curiosity. Okay, so I'm going to pull a card. First things first, know that this is a crystal affirmations deck. So there is a crystal on the other side of this card. There are intentions that are connected with that crystal, and there's an affirmation. So take a deep breath, look at the card. Drop into your center. Get out of your head, get out of the right, the wrong, the judgment, the expectations. Just play. Let it be fun. Let it be fun. Now, as you bring your awareness to this card, just tune into your body. What color comes to you? Now, this might show up as a color. This might show up as maybe hearing the name of a color. Maybe you just have an inner knowing of like, oh, it feels like this color. Just tune in. What color? What color? And if you're already feeling like this is difficult, take a breath. Let it go. Be playful. Have fun. What color? And then write that down. If you need to pause and take more time, you can. I want you to tap into the feeling of this card, the emotional resonance of this card. What feelings come through? How do you feel in your body? What emotions come up? Are there memories that come up that are tied to different emotions for you? Just tune into the emotions of the crystal on this card. And then tune into your body. And just notice if your intuition is pulling you towards a certain part of your body. Maybe it's your feet, maybe it's your low back, maybe it's your eyes. Where's your intuition drawing you, your attention? Write that down. And then before I flip it, I'm going to remind you there's no right or wrong here. The goal is to practice, not to perfect. Okay? So, we have the citrine card. Citrine yellow. Okay, sometimes citrine can be kind of like a dingy brownish yellow too. Sometimes it's a bright, bright yellow, depending on if it's heat treated or not. And citrine is really connected to this solar plexus area. So this sense of confidence, of passion, of willpower, of inner strength. So if any of those words came through to you, it can also be tied to abundance, tied to manifestation, goals coming to you, prosperity, luck, those types of words. So just notice if you wrote down anything that's connected to that. And then the affirmation is, my life naturally gravitates towards success. I embrace confidence, prosperity, and joyful enthusiasm. Did any of those words resonate with what you wrote down or what you felt? Again, you can do this with any deck that you have. I tend to like to do this more with oracle decks than tarot decks because tarot decks have their own interpretation. So sometimes it can be hard to sort of separate your interpretation from the deck's interpretation. But really, if you have a deck that you feel called towards, use that one. And let me know in the comments, did you get it right? And if you want to see more of these, let me know. Bye.